Hey guys, it's Aries from Kaleidoscopic Tendencies, and today we are doing an astrological placement oracle reading for all of the astrological placements, whether you sun, moon, or rising, to get into the energy of this full moon. On September 29th is going to be the full moon in Aries. So being that we just passed the fall equinox, we are coming into the harvest moon, and this is a really good time to be within the element of fire, be within the element of celebrating, looking back at your achievements throughout the year, being in a passionate space of gratitude for all you have come into, all you have surpassed, all you have let go of, and all that you're in the process of manifesting. Now with this time, we are kind of coming to this fiery, as it's the Aries full moon, this fiery space where our patience may be tested with a lot of things within our lives. Being that this is a cusp time, the fall, the seasons of the soul, going into really evaluating our harvests. This is a good time to come back down to our center spaces and be in contemplation, so that way we know how to move forward diligently, passionately, and definitely punctually towards things that serve us as individuals, as our souls, past any sort of societal norm or expectations externally. This is all about you. So we're going to go into these. We are going to go by element. So go ahead and scrub through the timestamp at the bottom here and find your readings. Again, this is going to correlate to any of your astrological placements. So stay tuned and we'll see you there. Alright Aries, welcome to your astrological placement reading for the full moon in Aries. This is your moon, the harvest moon, and today we're going to get into a very special message for you. This is going to correlate to some endings that look like have taken place, some things that you have chosen to walk away from. I congratulate you first and foremost for that, and we're going to get into the details here in just a moment. Now, I already pulled your cards. They're laying here, and I will lay them out, but based off of the bottom of the decks that I have in front of me, there's a very powerful message behind knowing that you are safe and protected, and if you have any sort of doubt that the endings that needed to take place within your life that have happened, just know that they were for your highest good. And even if you feel like it's possibly knocked you off some sort of path for you, when one door closes, the next will open. And so this is a beautiful message of continuance for you. To get into the message, we'll start with pulling your cards, and then I will go further with the information. There's a lot kind of coming in at once, but I do believe that being that it is the time of the Mercury retrograde, as well as we are in Jupiter retrograde as well till December 30th or 31st, I believe. And the Jupiter retrograde is all about refining your power, you know, surfacing past beliefs, surfacing past traumas, certain examples of trends of things that you have had to face on a soul level and a personal level throughout your life are coming back, so that way you can make peace with them and move beyond. Is a really big theme that Jupiter retrograde is bringing, and it looks like that kind of suits into the niche of your current events. So let's pull your cards. The first card we have is sublimation. You can see that past the glare. And this is a really good focal point, I think, to start your message. Sublimation is all about rising above. This card represents being able to find your individuality and your power to ascend your being, to evolve your being, to reach for higher planes, while also still holding on to the aspects of the self that don't put yourself above others, but it's okay to also acknowledge the importance of when it's time to really come clean to the self that you have outgrown either a person, individuals as a group, friends, family, whatever it is, what have you, jobs, certain ways of living, being, acting, habitual behaviors, any of that. When you have outgrown something, it's important to come clean to the self, to allow the self to expand and grow beyond those matters. And it looks like you're in a phase of doing so. I really like that this is kind of a focal point for your reading here. The next card we have is Chesed, right hand, empathy. I will try to avoid these light glares. Chesed, right hand, empathy. And Yesod, root connection. Does that help? No. Yesod, root connection. Okay. And then in the other deck we have Radha, soul flame. Rediscover a lost part of yourself. Experience relationship harmony and healing. Radha. So this can correlate to relationships. This can correlate to maybe old ways or tendencies that you have seen trends of within your experience. Maybe even some form of like codependency issues that stem either between, romantic partners, platonic friendships, connections with your family, maybe like a lack of allowance for you to be an individual, to make your own decisions, to be an Aries, very individualized, very grounded in your self-proclamation and your self-decisiveness. And this may be a trend that you're acknowledging needs to be let go of from your life. Any sort of energies that have a tendency to magnetize themselves to your energy and kind of try to, how do I explain that? Not manipulate you, but opinionate your next moves, therefore somehow having some sort of control over your actions. The next card we have is Charity, prayer and contemplation. Connect with heaven, ask and you shall receive. See, that's a really big thing about Aries. Aries is their life path is meant to be lived under individualization, self-proclamation, self-navigation. It's a very passionate, powerful, intimate self type of navigation that life is sort of supposed to follow with. And so this is all of the things that your soul needs to go through in order to acknowledge how great of a leader it is. There's a lot of creativity when the Aries is allowed to embrace that self-independence and move with it and create things with it, and to unleash this next level of like this fiery, passionate energy that you guys hold. And so no matter what placement that this serves you as, it can fall into any sort of, placement that you have. I might be picking up a little bit on like a Venus Aries as well. But this is a lot of energy of, finding your own decision, finding your own opinion, really coming to terms with who you are, who you think you are, and who you know you are, and moving with it, doing something with it, and letting it empower you into a space of self-proclamation, self-navigation, self-awareness, and also self-empowerment. Charity, prayer, and contemplation. Connect with heaven, ask and you shall receive. And then we have Master Buddha, increased awareness, deep connection, trust your inner voice. So 7:47 on the clock. This inner voice you have, it's very divine. You are very connected to the divine in ways that you may not even fully comprehend at this current time. And if you do have an idea, hold on to that and let that grow and expand. With yourself right now is where that deep connection is supposed to merge into. You and your relationship with your own self. This is going to teach you how that relationship dynamic works, and it's going to help you also expand in awareness around what you want your community to look like for you. What types of qualities or character types or archetypes, whatever it is, what have you, that you need from a community. You being on this self-proclaimed independent journey may be causing people maybe to think that you're a little selfish or cold-hearted. And that's just the thing, is you spend a lot of your time going with the flow of the external expectational world, and you're happy to, but you've come to a standstill where you're acknowledging where it's not serving you, and you need to have a sense of safe space, of self-independence, of privacy in your life or whatever it is, to create honor for yourself, to create a new way of approaching yourself with compassion and love and trust in your own navigational compass. In tarot, we have the Seven of Cups, we have the Sun, we have the King of Pentacles, we have the Strength card in the reverse, the Queen of Wands, and the Four of Pentacles. Okay, and I'm picking up too, maybe with this Four of Pentacles, like an idea of maybe overgiving yourself, your resources that Spirit has kind of like aligned for you to obtain, so that way you can do something more with it. You may feel stripped in some sort of way, or strapped for the fact that like you have to deliver your resources towards things that don't really sit right with you, or you have to kind of set aside your own building blocks or your own things for other people's needs. And this doesn't have to be like financial. This could be it is the Pentacles, but I can easily see this with all of these Wands and Cups. Something emotional for you. You working really hard. Maybe this can relate to a job. You being at work, working really hard, getting the job done, trying to build your mastery behind your finances, all of that stuff. And then all of your other downtime is reserved for other things, other people, other relationships, other expectations that you could be quite very much overwhelmed with, or this is something that you have moved away from. 12:12 on the clock. With tarot here, this is a really strong message of opportunity being in store for you. Again, when one door closes, another will open, and sometimes Spirit will close the door for you, so that way you can shake up your comfort zone to a space where you can navigate towards a new door. And if you're fearful of getting out of your comfort zone, then this is something that your guides are going to encourage and push upon you. And this is all happening for a reason. Sometimes to shake it up and get out of your comfort zone, they put us through tests and trials that look like a mess, that look like chaos, a huge storm, to get us to drift towards the places and things that we need to align with. And that looks like that may be something that has happened here. The bottom of the deck, in the Ascended Mastery deck, we had Green Terra, Supreme Protection. You are being protected, cords are being cut, move beyond limitation and trust. This is a huge significant message of like, whatever you have had to move past, you're safe and protected from it. Your guides will shield you and they are defending you. So what's important for you is to not stand on the outskirts of that shield, on the edge, peering into the world on the other side that either has something to say, that doesn't appreciate what it is you're doing for yourself, anything like that. Your job is to remain center of this shield. Remain as the eye of the storm, as your guides shield you and protect you to navigate you to the next steps, the next phases of this learning experience, because you have passed a significant point within this test. You have excelled beyond it and you have removed the obstacles, and because of your dedication with that, especially to yourself, you are moving into a new timeline per se. With this Seven of Cups, many opportunities on the horizon here. I also see this as you have this self-optimism to peer into the world of what those opportunities may look like. These may be opportunities that you may have put on the back burner previously, some opportunities that you maybe felt fearful of approaching to look at. And now all of these doors are kind of rushing in as these thoughts and ideas and all of the things that you can do. And so now it's a time to the sun go after it. This will really cause a great bit of awareness in a world of disillusion to associate you with your third eye, with your awareness, with your intuition. And this is going to align you towards paths and things that will directly put you in a space of certainty and confidence within your world of self-proclamation. With the sun here, expect abundance. This is a huge thing. Maybe throughout this year has been kind of rough or draining for you because of this trend of things, but the most important part of all of that is acknowledging how you have moved through it and how much awareness and wisdom you have gained through the process to finally know it is what you want, or at the very least finally know what it is you don't want, so that way you can separate yourself from it and rise above, right? And so with this King of Pentacles here, this could represent either a new job, this could represent you coming into a self-proclaimed job, you being your own boss, you starting on a new mission to level up materially, financially. I saw this as maybe something that stems from you, entrepreneurial style, or even if it comes to, say, like there's a promotion in your work that you've been, on the fence about trying to go for, this might be just the right time to do so after Mercury retrograde. With this sun here, this is a huge message of strength and power. We did have the Strength card in the reverse, and I saw that as you are no longer stressed about your strength. You are no longer allowing certain things, substances, people, toxicness deplete you. You're allowing yourself to save your strength for yourself and move with it. This is causing you to, Queen of Wands, be very grounded through the chaos of the storm. You are walking powerfully, you are walking very ferociously, and you are in your element, walking on this journey, despite any sort of energies or anything that might be trying to come into your shelter, your safe space, come into your world and expect something of it. This could also be too, like you going after security, stability for yourself. This road of independence is all about, you know, being self-reliant, and so finding self-resiliency is going to move you forward. And as you do so, the more strength you're able to gain through the process. With opportunities unfolding, and with this sun here, really big message about embracing your bravery. I swear, Arieses, you guys are like the bravest astrological placement there is. You guys are all gas, no brakes. You guys will go after things determinedly, but of course have this very deep, empathetic, empathic heart, this very sweet, loving energy. And so sometimes this can make that difficult to really go after the things, even if you have the motivation and the determination to go after it. And so I think this time is really about you realigning, coming down to the root, coming down to your self-connection with yourself, and understanding in that relationship what that relationship needs from you, what that relationship needs you to move forward with, and come into moving forward, the opportunities that need to be taken, and not being afraid of any sort of external energies that might have some sort of ulterior motive about these opportunities not being fitting for you, or in turn not being fitting for themselves. Take the opportunity. I feel like I'm driving that message pretty hard, so I don't know if there's someone who genuinely needs to hear the seriousness behind that. Take the opportunity. You're gonna know it when you see it. It's all coming for you. This is about being perceptive and true to yourself enough to recognize it and not let yourself second guess rolling with the opportunity when it comes in. In the Shamanic Medicine Oracle deck, we have the Shaman Completion. And we have Death, Transmigration. Okay, so these endings that you have allowed to be put to rest, these endings that you have allowed yourself to separate yourself from, to rise above, to overcome. These could even be old tendencies of yourself that denied you of excelling due to fear of persecution. All of this is happening consecutively and timely, and you are right where you need to be. Sometimes the path feels like it's taking a long time, and this is for the sake of doing things thoroughly. And so if there's anything in your life where you're like, oh, well, it's taking me a long time to get there, so on and so forth, whatever it is, what have you, know that every step of the journey and the time it takes to do it is worth it, because it means that you're doing it very diligently, you're being precise, you're being very detail oriented, and you are making this harvest, this manifestive process of overcomance of whatever it is being tended to throughout the entire process. You haven't rushed it, and that's the most significant thing, because now you have come to a point within that trial, that test, whatever it is, that lesson, and you have been so diligent at being so properly intentional behind it for yourself that you have surpassed a checkpoint, a very significantly strong checkpoint in that lesson, and you are moving forward with newfound wisdom, and you have acclaimed a lot of gratitude, a lot of blessings, a lot of clarity, especially within your guides, are offering you a lot of love, a lot of blessings, a lot of open doors, especially within your communication with them. Again, ask and you shall receive. They see your dedication and they truly hold you in high regard for doing the things that are going to pave a new path in the long run, possibly even for other generations. Right now it's kind of all about, shifting the paradigms of how we live within this societal world. So congratulations. Focus on your mastery, but also acknowledge the completions that you have made. Acknowledge the checkpoints that need your celebration, that you have surpassed. So don't forget to celebrate yourself. Keep working hard. If you're worried about these things resurfacing, you have gone through the lessons to a point where you're in a really good spot to allow these things to rest. If or when they were ever to pop back up in your reality to test you if you were finished, you got this. Happy harvest moon, happy full moon. I'm very proud of you, and I hope that this final super moon of this year is very powerful for you. Have a good day. Hello Leo, welcome to your reading for the full moon in Aries. This is the harvest moon on September 29th, and we are coming to the autumn season of the soul, what we are in harvest of, how our year is recapping to this point, and all of the intentions that we have expanded and evolved throughout this year. Your reading here is very significant. This is for Leo placements, whether you be Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Chiron, whatever it is, what have you, etc. This is going to be a specific message either for a group of people, for the archetype of Leo, or it's just a very divine intervention, direct message. The ancestral spirits are coming through and they are declaring something of either a lesson that you are learning to evolve past. This has been a long time coming. This is something very vulnerable for you. So I offer you this space 111 as a space of alignment, of gratitude, of self-preservation, self-care, and honesty, self-honesty. Kind of the first basis of the message, I have the bottom of the deck laid in front of me. I do have your pile here, but going into the bottom of the deck, it kind of seems like you are in a process of trying to learn how to reclaim your sensuality. This may be a lesson that you have a hard time with, whether this correlates to the realm of love, romance, even platonicity within friendships, but all in all, your sensuality. And with your sensuality comes creativity, right? And so this is all about allowing yourself to slow down, to be the student. Slow down so that way you could observe your surroundings and especially observe yourself, so that way you can come to terms with observing what it is you truly need from something 222, rather than maybe what everyone else needs. We have the bottom of the deck here, gold. So this card is all about coming to terms with what you define gold as, opposed to what the rest of the world may define it as for yourself. What do you find as gold within your reality? Is it material? Is it wisdom? Is it energy? Is it some form of creativity? Is it something that you're passionate about? Is it money? What is gold to you? What makes you feel rich and abundant? And a lot of that, I believe, has to do with your sensuality. 311. Hierophant, bottom of the deck here, is all about being the student. There is something that your guides And your ancestors specifically want you to learn from this, to take from this, to observe, especially through the phase moving forward, being in a deeper space of observation for yourself and also of those around you. As you are moving through this lesson, the universe is in co-creation with you. And so if there's things within a lesson that we are having a hard time surpassing, our guides will kind of sweep up the floor behind us in a quick motion to get us to get more uncomfortable. The point is to get us out of our comfort zones, to push us forward into new spaces and new paradigms, new ways of living, and coming into the true paradox of the soul and what it is to be a self-serving individual. And they're kind of pushing you along here, so there's a little bit of urgency within this. But I do not want that to alarm you. I would rather you observe that and take that from a space of groundedness, of sensualness, and also from a space of new beginnings. It's all about, I spoke in this in the last reading as well, when one door opens, a new one will always, when one door closes, a new one will always open, and sometimes there's multiple doors that will open with one closed door. And so it's about embracing a new way of going about something for yourself and really learning a significant part of the lesson of maybe something you have been living through within a trend of series of events unfolding, and you may be to a point where you're so confused that you are actually ready and seeking this message. 511. Okay, we're gonna get into your cards here, and then we will go further from there. The first card we have here is Copper. And so this Copper card is all about the sensual energy, all about what we find sensuality in, all of the sensual energy that resides within us, how we express that sensuality, and also connecting to the Venus energy, the things that are passionately divine and feminine and nurturing and loving and creative, sensual, a very powerful energy that is, I think, unfolding within you, and you might have a part of you that has a hard time either expressing it or finding the time to tend to this space, to tend to this sensuality, to tend to this creativity, in expression or, you know, creation or expansion. And so this could be very much a part of the lesson that your guides are wanting you to learn now or come into awareness of with this part of the lesson now. In the Angelarium deck, the first card we have here is Kaleidoscopic Angel of Snow. And then the second card we have is Material Angel of Rain. Sorry about the glare. Material Angel of Rain. With those two cards there, I specifically see this need for repurification, this need to come back to your sensual self. If you are in a space where your time is so invested into so many other things besides self-tending, self-love, self-care, 717, you may be feeling rather depleted. And so the Kaleidoscopic Angel of Snow came out in the reverse, and this card is all about being the light within the darker spaces, reigniting the passion, reigniting the magic, the sparkle within spaces of ruin or desolateness. Expanding your perception to see the world of magic even through chaos. And so this could be also in reverse a message of saying that your guides are sending you a lot of those messages to find a sense of glimmer or shine or magic within the current circumstances of your life, and you might not fully be receiving them. And so with this Material Angel of Rain, I see that as a cleanse. I see that as you giving yourself some time to wash away any sort of energies that are causing you obstacles, but also energies that are also overwhelming you. If everything is kind of overwhelmed and you're in a space of distraction from your true fulfillment, then they're gonna start knocking louder, and they're gonna start showing up a lot more in different ways that might come across as bad omens, because they're trying to get the message across. When I started pulling cards, the first thing I heard was something along the lines of like, the trumpets are being blown, there's a call to action that's happening, and or the phone's ringing, it's time for you to finally pick up the phone and answer the call. And this is to yourself. This is a call to yourself. This could also be coming from your ancestors directly to deliver you the message that this is something that ancestrally and through past lives your lineage has had to face. And so now it's time to really come in as an ancestral torchbearer, an ancestral curse breaker, a paradigm shifter, whatever it is, what have you, you are excelling. And so facing this part of your journey and coming into the observation and acknowledgement and deepening your awareness around this is going to assist you moving beyond it, surpassing it, and then shifting the paradigm, shifting the timeline that will bring you into a deeper space of sensuality, not just within yourself, but within a reality that will serve you reciprocally with that. So we have Shaligiel, Matriel, and then we have Diana, focused intention. Think about what you desire, set your sights high, expect the best possible outcome. And then we have Mahavatar Babaji, soul expansion. Your consciousness is expanding. You understand connections between all things. Mahavatar Babaji. And then we have charity, prayer, and contemplation. Connect with heaven, ask, and you shall receive. So, a really significant and sometimes one of the hardest lessons to learn on a journey within self-mastery, self-awareness, coming into oneself, awakening the soul, expanding and letting the soul be conscious and serving through us, 1122. One of the hardest obstacles is to come to a space of self-proclamation, coming to a space of full, powerful self-love, coming to a space of acknowledging and holding our sovereignty as something special. Leos, you guys are very, very powerful, passionate, and queendom energy, right? Kingdom, queendom energy. But something that I think that is very common for the Leo to suffer in is not fully honoring that part of the self, knowing that, but not honoring it fully. There is also a lot of empathicness that comes with being a Leo, especially as the Leo is often portrayed as someone very selfish. And that's not necessarily the case, but when it comes to you tending to yourself, a trend is maybe facing a lot of eruption externally where you have to start playing yourself small within the realm of self-love due to fear of persecution, of how others might perceive that. Again, this is all about of what you define gold as within your life. And you can very much see yourself as that gold, and that might disrupt some other people because they expect you to tend to them in a sense of maybe like, not saying that you're the only royalty within any sort of connection, but they see that, they acknowledge that, and that's kind of just who you are and what you as a being, as a soul exude. And so they expect you to deliver treatment towards them as if they are to feel equal. And this is something that I think a really big part of the lesson is that you're acknowledging this, and you don't want to have to think that way, but the truth is in the pudding. Everything is like your guides are kind of starting to brush this lesson underneath you, and being that you have a very focused intention, hold sight on this moving forward with such beauty and creativity, reconnecting with your connection with Venus, with your heart, with your divine feminine essence, and honoring that and letting yourself exude that despite who might not appreciate that within you. This can be for honestly a lot of different varieties of Leo placements. I'm also getting some Leo Venus in this, maybe some Leo Chiron, and it's maybe Leo Moon as well. This is honestly some emotional energy, some emotions that have been suffocated, some emotions that have been put aside for a long time now. But the time is now for you to fully lean into your sensuality, to fully lean into the power of who you are. You know, like there's a way to do this, and when we overwhelm ourselves with all of the external expectations and then finally come into this is where it comes off sometimes as bitter. And so allowing yourself to tend to yourself a bit more, work into yourself a bit more. You don't have to do it all at once, because that will cause a lack of balance within that. But, you know, generalizing a new routine, even little pieces, even if it's like pulling a card or 3 cards a day, you know, for your own self-healing. I would recommend Oracle, because Tarot ties a little bit more into situationally experienced messages, and so Oracle tends more so to the heart, to the truth of your own self-awareness. And I think that will truly help you move deeper into your self-proclaimed role. In Tarot, the first card we have here is 8 of Wands. And so I think this is going to play into, again, your situation a little bit deeper. Maybe some more details of what's happening in your current situation, whether it be multifaceted and general, or whether it be specifically towards one region of your life. The next card we have, 10 of Pentacles. This is a very powerful, beautiful message. So if you are in any way, shape, or form too vulnerable for this, I offer you a space of safety, because this message comes with a lot of love and a lot of blessings and a lot of abundance. The Moon. The Chariot. The 10 of Wands. And the 9 of Pentacles. Okay. So I can very much see this is something to do with possibly finances, possibly material wealth, resources, inheritance. And this could be financial, material, and or like inheritance of like ancient wisdom, ancestral wisdom. That's a lot of what's coming through right now. What I'm getting is ancestral wisdom. There's a lot of blessing to come within letting yourself be in the space of the student, be in the space of the observer, and allowing yourself to watch your external reality and yourself in a space of kind of like quietness and observation. Give yourself the next 2 weeks to do this. as you come into your space of observation for the next 2 weeks, instead of reacting, allow yourself to observe and see how things, and especially your perception, change within that time. Things might start shifting, and sometimes too you'll realize where if it happens to be a circumstance where like you feeling the need to fight, your inner feminine feeling lack of safety, if you have to fight, sitting back and observing is going to allow you to really adhere to bypassing the need to react, which will create more span for your perception to gain more tools and processing pieces to process. That way, towards the end of that 2 weeks, you're going to acknowledge a much higher perspective and or perception over a given situation. Situationally, it looks like this is going to resonate with you guys in different ways, because this line of tarot cards has a couple different meanings, and I will explain. The first card with the 8 of Wands, that's determined action. That is determination. That is also like strategy. It is the hawk animal totem in there. So it's all about embracing not necessarily your stance as a predator, but being a great navigator. You're able to see an opportunity, go for it, dive for it. And I can even see this maybe as something craftful. Seeing an opportunity when it comes in, being it's also the 8s, that's all about equilibrium, being steadfast, being sturdy, and gradually continuing your climb towards something with a lot of diligence. And so the Wands, this could represent something craftful. Maybe you're on this pursuit of, coming out as a small business owner, as a creative, as an artist, or so many other different things. And now's the time to really embrace the opportunities for it and have the eye of the hawk and see it when it comes, so that way you can go after it with determination. This is going to yield you 10 of Pentacles here, a lot of prosperity, a lot of blessings, a lot of abundance, and this could even come in a multifaceted way. This can come through with gaining clientele. This can come in with gaining external appreciation for the work it is you do. This can come in financially. This can come in as, more wisdom gained around how to go into and around and through this experience. You're creating a lot of prosperity to come in with being determined about what it is you want to do. And this is allowing this moon to shine. This is allowing this moon to kind of be the light source through the darkness, through maybe this energy. And the problem could be is because maybe this is a path that you see as gold for you. This could be a path that you see as something extremely valuable for you to achieve, and other people might find it childish or avoidant or fantastical for you to achieve, non-realistic, for lack of better words. This is something though that you see as this is a part of your destiny, and you walk with spirit. Your spirit team is moving along with you and giving you the guidance to do these things. And trust in the divine, and trust in your intention. And the beautiful thing about holding a sacred intention to the self and manifestation and doing the right thing for the self and the soul is going to yield powerful results. It's going to yield this prosperity. And so this prosperity is all in line for you. This is already unfolding as you choose to take divine action and determined action towards this game plan. Your guides are opening the doors for opportunity for you. Your part of the job is to take the steps, is to allow yourself to move forward with it. No more, hiding yourself or downplaying yourself for the sake of other individuals, possibly not wanting to see someone else carve a new way of tradition of how to achieve financial blessing. Okay. I said what I said. And this is very significant for you. This moon, your intuition, your spirit team, your light is shining the way through the darkness. And this is causing you to be able to move forward swiftly, determinedly. Also, honey badgers with lots of boundaries and lots of courage, determined action. Again, this Eight of Wands and the Chariot card go kind of hand in hand with that. Your guides are, if you're already doing it, your guides are telling you to keep it up, keep moving forward, because if you're moving through a lot of weight, if you're shedding a lot of energy through this process, keep going. You're doing the right thing for yourself. Cleanse. Ten of Wands. Don't carry the weight. Don't carry the burdens. Don't carry the power play of external energies, because you're on a mission and you have manifestations to achieve with this Nine of Pentacles. Surrender your concerns. Allow the miracle to occur. Allow yourself, your being, your human vessel to expand with your consciousness, to expand with your soul. When your soul starts to grow and starts to expand, and your body being stuck in one spot and not moving with the expansion of your soul, that starts to make the soul start to mourn, and it starts making the inner child, all of those things, feel like it's suffering, because the human body, the human mind, the human emotion is trying to catch up with the soul itself. And so as your soul expands, transmute any sort of fear into a state of courage, and trust that it is valuable, safe, and okay for you to do so. This is going to awaken a whole new level of your sensual energy, your passionate energy, your creative energy. You are delivering this world a huge blessing by being yourself and by doing what it is you're choosing to do. And you're also going to help a lot of other people know and feel safe within the path of self-proclamation and self-creativity to express and share with the world. So keep going. The last two cards here, we have Stone People Knowing. Stone People Knowing and Cave Retreat. So these two cards hold a lot of wisdom within the realm of ancestry, within the realm of ascended mastery, within the realm of following true divine guidance, taking divine guidance, moving with it, and also trusting in blind faith. This is all about reclaiming the wisdom of your ancient truth, whether it be throughout this life or into literally ancient history of your soul's existence. But this is also too a message of being in a space of retreat and solitude and healing, sensuality, self-pleasure, self-expression, self-healing. I don't know if I already said that or not. Self-preservation, to retreat, recharge, and heal. So that way the time investment that you make within this isn't, diluted with any sort of external energies that want to either control or manipulate your path moving forward. So allow yourself to go into this space, and when you go into that safe space, call in your guides, call in stone people, call in, your powerful ancestral lineage of ascended masteries that walked before you and then now are guiding you forward into this same world that they took of self-proclamation. This is very significant for your harvest moon reading, as it is the full moon. Leos are very, very good at working with the moon, just so you know. So be intentional about this, okay? Really be intentional about asserting yourself where you belong and asserting your boundaries, and also asserting what it is you want to achieve and what you want to go after. Maybe journal, you know, take a moment to briefly journal on what you consider and define as gold within your life. I love you very much. Enjoy this final super moon of the year. Congratulations on taking the road less traveled. It's going to yield you an incredible amount of blessing and prosperities that I don't think you quite understand yet, but that's the point, is not to overwhelm you. That's a part of the secret, and that's a part of the blind faith. So keep going. You're doing amazing. Trust yourself and ask and you shall receive. Have a good day. Hello Sagittarius, welcome to your reading for the full moon in Aries. This is known as the harvest moon on September 29th, and this is a season of the soul for the fall. This is all about, you know, reaping our harvest, really coming to terms with our intentions for the year, what we worked so diligently for, and receiving the beautiful blessings of wisdom, of harvest, of, you know, creation that has come with the work that we have put in for this year. Now, this is a very self-disciplinary time to be true to the self, to be true to your needs, especially also your desires, but especially your own personal needs at this time. I have your pile here at the bottom of the decks in front of me. It's kind of giving me a little play out of maybe you being in a space of optimism, holding on to optimism, but also kind of facing things head on, as if, you know, sort of like a war is just playing out around you, and it's putting you in a spot of acknowledgement towards things that you're truly having to evaluate if they're serving you or not anymore. And this is very beautiful. This is divine intervention for you, your soul, your way of showing up for yourself, and who you decide to show up for through the process. There's a strong message with the Zadkiel Mercy, Angel of Mercy, bottom of the deck in the reverse. That's a message of maybe, you know, you taking some mercy upon yourself, allowing yourself a lot of time and space for forgiveness towards your own being, all of the hard work, and maybe over exuding that you have done, and holding yourself in a space of stillness and safety, of, you know, even disassociation into a realm of creativity, whatever it is, what have you. We also have a very strong message with Krishna here. Devotion, trust your spiritual guidance, your commitment has been recognized. Super significant message right there. You are loved unconditionally. You are bypassing a very strong part of your path here, and you're allowing yourself to look at a lot of things that maybe you were slightly fearful of approaching previously, the things that make you vulnerable, and the things that you truly work so hard to fight through, and you're coming to terms with what things you're fighting for that don't really serve you any longer. To get into your message here, the first card we have here is Sun's Splendor, the Sun's Splendor. This card is all about imagining the full picture, imagining, you know, the end of the movie, the end of the climb, the experience, what you want a beautiful, happy, harmonious outcome to look like for you. It's a time of reimagining that, allowing yourself to expand your peripheral of what you think can happen and what your inner child, your heart, what your creativity would truly want that to look like for yourself. The next card we have is Azrael, Angel of Death. This was in the reverse position, and I see that as maybe you contemplating putting an end to some sort of series in your life, but having hesitations, having fears. I hope that this message helps you be decisive upon this and create sense of validation 411 to confirm the safety behind that being possible and yielding positive results for you. We have Keter, the Crown, Spirituality, also in the reverse. This card is all about self-gratitude. This card is all about being in a space of gratitude. Maybe too, in reverse, this represents you not having full gratitude for yourself and how far you have come, or not really focusing on self-gratitude right now. You may hold that self-gratitude, but coming back to a space of that self-mercy, self-gratitude, and acknowledgement for all you have fought through, all you have worked through, and also being in trust of your crown, your channel, what you are receiving from your higher self, that which is telling you to move beyond this circumstance, and to allow your life to evolve past it as well. I think that this is possibly like a new path for you to actually come into some sense of blind faith within yourself and within the universe, and universally how manifestation works, how things are happening. But you're coming to this space of like, you're questioning if you should trust it or not now, and that's the beautiful thing, is you're really to a point now of like, what, this is like genuinely like, this is real. I'm done learning the lessons of karma, and I want to kind of lean into a space of dharma and be more of a curator of my own life, rather than feeling desolated to a certain circumstance, or kind of like cursed to have to stick to the same ins and outs of the same process of something. You are acknowledging that there's a new way of paradigm to move through into this world, right? This unsplendor, and you're very curious. And so this is a huge message to hopefully ignite a little bit more curiosity, but also creativity behind that, and trust. So Azrael, Angel of Death, Keter, the Crown, Spirituality. We have Mercury, open communication. Get a weight off of your chest. Speak up with love and be heard. So I very much see this also being that we are amidst Mercury retrograde. I see this as a message of like using the power of Mercury to set boundaries, to be assertive of your self-proclamation, to be assertive of your needs, to be assertive of how hard of a worker you are, how strong you are, and backing that up, allowing yourself to speak up with love and be heard, speak up with love of the self, speak up with boundary, speak up with self-proclamation and self-worth, knowing and honoring your worth, especially as your commitment has been recognized. That's significantly power for you to adhere to. Allowing yourself to come to terms with acknowledging that past any sense of humility that you might be holding on to. The next card we have is Isis, Magic Manifesting. Your dreams, visions, and goals are becoming reality. Stay focused. So to me, this is telling me that you have had a shift in optimism. You've had a shift into what you want life to look like for you. Maybe you have these dreams, and even if you might have like parts of you that might be relatively humble around them, you're allowing yourself to expand into the realm of the possibilities of those things really happening for you. You're acknowledging where too, maybe how things are manifesting within your life, circumstances. You're seeing the cause and effect of certain things. You're kind of seeing more so too how karma works, and being in observation of those things and really allowing yourself to learn through the lessons of the universe, showing you examples of how it works and how to, befriend that energy and work with it, and be in co-creative energy with it, to collaborate with it. You're really coming to terms with acknowledging how this works and how you can go about using it. The next card we have, Cool Dharma Unfolding. Remember that you are on a path. Take one step at a time to happiness. So this is telling me, again, you have bypassed the world of karma. You have gained the experience of how to observe karma unfolding, and you've also come to terms with acknowledging how your own actions plays into karma. And so now, this is a beautiful space of acknowledgement that you let yourself be the student, and you let yourself find a sense of wisdom, of mastery around karma, so you can therefore move forward with Dharma, using Dharma and manifestation as a tool to create your own reality that will serve you abundantly, and that will serve the people you love and care about abundantly as well. Remember that you are on a path. Take one step at a time to happiness. I very much see that as allowing yourself one step at a time. Don't get overwhelmed with the full picture of the outcome, right? This can look overwhelming because you might not have the full pieces of how to yield this, how to create this, how to come into this. But that's the point, is it's only going to happen if you allow yourself the steps, one step at a time, to come into a deeper mastery of harnessing, harnessing all of the intentions you have around that, all of the little significant details that will create so much purity and beauty and abundance and prosperity within that space. The time and effort taken to reiterate and analyze and reconstruct and, be in true intention to create the blueprints for these things is how it's going to yield you the best prosperity. And so allow yourself to slow down with the overwhelmingness of full picture, and just start with pen to paper. Start with allowing yourself one tiny little stroke of the pen, and take it step by step, day to day. Huge on setting boundaries here with get a weight off of your chest with Mercury. I'm a personal believer that sometimes, a lot of people think that Mercury energy is to keep communication to a minimum and allow don't make contracts, don't make powerful decisions. You can go about it both two ways, okay? You can allow yourself to use the energy of that power to fuel and put power to your boundaries and to your assertion and to what's going on, or you can use it as a time to remain in silence, remain quiet, and be so diligent about being in a space of observation with the intention that whatever it is you observe is going to teach you something. And so that way, when Mercury retrograde is over, you can use all of the things that you took as bullet points within that period of observation to deliver a solid message, right? A solid message of communication. That might be easier for you to go about. Depends on who you are. Either way though, everything's meant to happen the way it happens and how it happens and when it's supposed to happen. So trust yourself on that and allow yourself right now at the least to calm down, give yourself a sense of mercy, self-care, self-gratitude, being in a space of forgiveness for yourself, and 1313, exceptional gratitude for the diligence you have put into your path knowing that your commitment has been recognized. In tarot, the first card we have here is Four of Pentacles. It's Four of Pentacles here. And then we have Six of Swords. This was in the reverse. I will explain. We have the Hermit. Four of Swords. Ten of Cups. And the Tower. Very, very beautiful message here. So, this is possibly going to be vulnerable for you, but this is, again, divine intervention, and the sense of war that you have been facing has been a long time coming, and it's time for you to really allow yourself to be vulnerable in this message, rather than being so determinedly strong to try to be the grounded energy through the chaos. Okay, this comes with a lot of acknowledgement, and if you do take that time to observe, be in that space of observation till the end of Mercury retrograde, in the intention that whatever it is you observe is going to teach you something, your guides will work with you on that, and they will show you, they truly will, how that plays out, and you are going to learn a lot. Now, with this, the Four of Pentacles here is telling me a lot about, stability, shelter, but there's also a message within that of like hoarding or being fearful of maybe spending finances due to the need and like feeling of possibly like a scarcity mindset around finances or material wealth. That's a lot of what this Four of Pentacles card is all about. Over preserving, or maybe, I would say over preserving and not being maybe more so flexible about investing maybe some of that materialness into something that will serve more abundantly and fulfillingly for you, for your family, whatever it is, what have you. The Six of Swords here, this is a card that resembles divine guidance. This is a card representing messages of guidance, of navigation from the universe, from your spirit team, from your guides, from your ancestors, your angels, whatever it is, your team. And in the reverse, I see that as maybe being fearful or not receiving the full message of divine guidance, and that may be due to the perception of the external world that is kind of fogging up your receptivity of hearing that message properly or following your intuition. Things clouding your judgment. This modern world, maybe the expectations of the current societal norms clouding your judgment behind being more flexible and possibly more daring towards creating this sun splendor here. With the Hermit card, I see that as maybe going into shelter, that energy kind of causing you to isolate, not necessarily be in a state of solitude, but maybe be more in a space of isolation. A big beautiful thing of way to like shift that is to create a sense of solitude. I think you're learning how to allow that space to be more of a space of solitude rather than, using it from a way of self-isolation. You're finding solitude within either time for yourself or, staying in, being at home, being, in that element of even like self-mastery, focusing on what kind of maybe brings you passion, learning more. The Hermit is also all about higher learning, being inward, being within a space of healing and self-observation, self-acknowledgement, self-processing. That way the soul can expand and become more self-aware of itself, and exceed a lot of the masteries that we cyclically, karmically live through in life, if that makes sense. And so that too could also be very much a message of guidance for you to acknowledge of where you need to reserve yourself from the external world. Grant yourself a little bit more you time to be in a state of self-preservation. With this Four of Swords here, this card is all about going inward to retreat, recharge, heal, being almost in a sense of hibernation, but also a space of sanctuary. Also allowing yourself to come to this space so that way you are protected and safe from any sort of external realities or timelines or interactions that deplete your energy. Also too, when you come to this space of hermit mode, internal solitude, this is going to allow your guides to also help defend, protect, and kind of clear out karma externally that has a sense of power over you. And so you choosing to do that is going to create a lot more better safe space of sanctuary within yourself. And with this 10 of Cups following, I also see that with your family. This could also too, if say this is like either work related or community related in any sense, I see that as disassociating from something, and when you have to be in those interactions with those things, try to be the one in observation, so that way again you can intentionalize learning something from the observations you have made. This will help you win this war, because there's a war happening, and so you have to decide, sure, I'm fighting in this war, but like I have to fight it. That's a part of your role within that war, is to fight in the war. It is a battle, so it's either that energy or your energy that's coming out up here, right? And so you have to maybe set aside some humility that you might have to acknowledge your own role within this race. 10 of Cups here, I also see that as almost an exact replication of the sun's splendor. These two mean the same exact thing. This is all about happy community, happy ecosystem, multifaceted fulfillments, whether it be emotional, intellectual, material. This is a happy community, this is a happy family, this is all of the facets of abundance and prosperity that bring people together in a space of love, of reciprocity, of happiness, of joy, of pleasure, of collaboration, community. And this, I think, is the big lesson of acknowledgement, where you're coming into realizing where like the outcome of that is so much more important for you. That type of abundance, that type of prosperity is what you want to be in it for. And so that's kind of what's causing this tower moment to happen. This tower is falling. This acknowledgement of all of this is happening because of that. Because you're really deciding what's most important to you. And there's something about like you have just driven so much energy and strength into something that's just not serving you the way that you expected it to, and honestly you're tired of it not yielding you maybe the good service that you put into it. And so the shifts are happening, and this is all for the absolute best. I've said it with the other readings as well. When one door closes, another one opens, and the one that opens is going to be what serves your highest good because of the devotion and dedication you have made to the acknowledgement of what you deserve. So this is how the universe works. When you decide you're worth more, it opens the doors. And so let this tower fall. Let this kind of, all this commotion in this war like play out. Honestly, playing the stealthy hand of sitting back and observing and intentionalizing you learning whatever it is you do through the observation, coming out of Mercury retrograde, letting things kind of maybe unfold in war in front of you, sit back and just watch it happen. And then after Mercury retrograde, stepping in and being like, hey, these are my boundaries. This is where I'm at. These are the things that I've recognized, and this is the worth of myself that I know I deserve and I've worked so hard for, and the results aren't paying off here. So whatever that is, take the opportunity. It's yours. East emergence. Allow yourself to know you deserve to be within this realm of prosperity. You're not constrained or bound to anything that isn't serving you. So don't let yourself think that you are. Last cards here. West Purge. This is all about purging out any sort of negative mindsets, any sort of negative things that preoccupy our time, any objects, any sort of emotions, any sort of things. Purge it, release it, clear the way, clear the path to welcome in new and better things to serve you. That will provide you a deeper level of prosperity for yourself, something that's more deeper, far more deeper than anything surface level. Where this world is kind of societally built off of is surface level stuff. And so you're finding this. So now it's time to journey imagination. Take the journey into your mind to let yourself feel safe within the realm of imagination and manifestation. Let yourself know that you have the power of manifesting this and this. And it's yours, it's in the cards, it's here, it's all going to unfold in front of you. Your team is going to make this happen. Your job is to trust the process and take the step at a time to yield the results. They're gonna open doors, you just have to be the one to step through. You got this. I love you. This is the last super moon of the year. Happy harvesting. Enjoy your autumn. We'll see you next time.